What's going on, guys? So today I will be installing this rear diffuser on my car, and it is about time because it has been sitting in my garage for about 2.5 years. Now, when I got this, I did an unboxing video on it, and I never really did anything else with it because I got busy with the ice cream shop and other things. So I never installed it. I had my DIY rear diffuser installed at the time, and since then that diffuser has let go. It lasted about 3 years, but this last winter it just had its day and it just gave up and died. Still not a bad investment for less than $100 or so, but it's time to upgrade to something a little bit nicer. So this is about $250 and is made by Con10der8 on Instagram. And one of the things that I like about this is it is ABS plastic instead of foam board and fiberglass. My last diffuser that I had installed, I had just riveted because I didn't plan on removing it, and that was fine. But since then I have these well nuts and I have hardware, so I'm going to drill out these rivets so I can install that. And the diffuser doesn't come with holes. You line it up, you figure out where you want to put your brackets and your mounting hardware, and then you install it that way. It did come with steel brackets. I'm not sure if I'm going to use them or if I'm just going to use some aluminum flat bar or something else that I have around. We'll see. Now, I also wanted to show you underneath my car because I've had several people ask how I mounted my rear diffuser, and fortunately I have the STi, which means it comes with a diffuser from the factory, and underneath they have brackets on the STIs from factory. So that's what I used, and on this diffuser I'm going to use the same thing. What I'm going to do is cut off this mounting bracket here. So I already removed this bolt from this exhaust hanger, so this could come down. And even with it down out of the way, as you could tell, my exhaust isn't going anywhere. These are Cartboy XL exhaust hangers. I highly recommend them. They are very stiff and much more robust than stock. So even with the one exhaust hanger on the other side over here, I have this exhaust hanger, and I think there's one further back that is OEM, and there's a third one even further forward that is another Cartboy hanger. Even with just one of these on the muffler, I think is firm enough to prevent it from going anywhere. So I'm not too worried about it. So I think I'm just gonna hack off this mounting bracket right here.
so here is a progress report. I am underneath my car. I have it up on ramps. Here's my rear diffuser. You're looking at the rear of the car. I have my hardware installed that you can see. And now I just have to use some brackets, probably like these, that were included to mount this. And I'm just going to use this here and this here. I'm going to push this up and fabricate some brackets.
Main section of the diffuser, I added this aluminum angle, which added a lot of stability. Without it, it was very flimsy and I would not trust it on the highway. But I just tacked this in two places with some rivets, and it actually made it much stiffer and more stable. So that adds a ton of rigidity, and as you can tell, I have this bracket here, and that goes up to this bracket, which kind of ties into these two factory locations. These are the points that the factory used to mount the OEM rear diffuser. So if you don't have this, you'd have to go through the bottom of the trunk. But if you do, then you're like me and you're very lucky and it makes things easier. This is not going anywhere. I'm tugging in on this as much as I can and it's pretty solid. So you might notice that I cut out a little bit too much for this box. I will show you guys my mistakes. I am not perfect. Fortunately, I still have the piece that I cut out, so I just have to measure how far that box sticks down, and then I could trim that piece and I could weld it right back in place with that plastic welding kit that I have from Harbor Freight. What's going on, guys? So I'm back for day 2 of this install. Unfortunately, it's a little bit more involved than I was expecting it to be. I was expecting like an hour and a half to maybe even 2.5 hours. And yesterday it took me about 4 to 4.5 hours to just get the main section installed. Today I'm going to be throwing on the driver's side portion of this, which I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that it will bolt up a lot more easily than the main section did. Most of the time that I spent on this other part was trimming it to fit my car because I have an aftermarket tow hook and I also have an angled exhaust. So that was the majority of work, and also fabricating brackets and stuff like that. At the end of this video, I will show you underneath my car and try and show that so that you could see how I mounted it. So if you have a similar car, you could get some ideas of how I did it. And so far this is very sturdy. I am confident to take this on the highway. But yesterday this install was kicking my ass and I just stopped filming because there's no sense in me trying to film stuff when I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do. So I figured set down the camera, focus on what I need to do, and then I could show you guys what I did and what worked for me. So with that being said, let's get to this driver's side install. I have my hardware installed. All I'm using is these well nuts. I will drop a link in the description down below, and then I'm running it down with this stainless steel hardware, which makes this whole rear diffuser removable. And as you can see, after I have that mounted, I still don't have a bracket up here. So if I touch it, shake it, whatever, you can see it's very flimsy. If any wind or debris or anything like that comes and would hit this piece, it would probably just rip it off of my bumper. So what I need to do next is create a bracket to go underneath, and I'm going to try and give you an angle here. So I'm going to mount it to the heat shield, much like I did on the other side, and it's going to come down and mount here, if you could see that on that side. So it's basically going to mount the same way as the main section did. So I am now under my car. I apologize if the audio is crap or the video is crap, but I'm doing what I can. So here is the driver's side, as you can tell, and I have the factory heat shield from the factory exhaust. I still have that on my car. So what I'm going to do is I just have this aluminum angle bracket, so I'm going to rivet it to this heat shield, much like I did on this side with that bracket, and that will drop this straight down. And then I will have this piece here. So it's going to mate up like that, and I will rivet these two pieces together. And once I have those together, then I will be able to tuck this up, and this whole piece will be attached to those. And so that this whole diffuser is still removable, I will use a well nut just like I did over on this main section. So if you could see this, I have a well nut going through the diffuser, which connects this bracket that runs up to this heat shield. Alright guys, so here is the finished product. As you can tell, I put a rivet in this bracket here. I riveted these two pieces together, and then I put in some of my hardware, one of the well nuts. Probably can't see that. It's on this side with this bolt running through, and that has made it very sturdy. Alright guys, so that wraps up this install. I hope you learned something. I hope this video at least helps you when you are trying to install your diffuser. Whether it's the same type of diffuser or a different type, at least you could see under my car, kind of see what I did, see what's going on. So I hope that helps you, and if not, then I hope it was entertaining. But I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.